Hello, my love, and welcome. Today we are going to explore the topic of conscious creator. How can you become the conscious creator within your life? How can you step into that role, embody it, so that you become magnetic, that your world changes? And if you're new here, hi, my name's Candice. I am a psychic medium, and I teach you embodiment beyond just the mind. I teach you embodiment that integrates all parts of self. And this is where we're needing to really explore in this moment in time around the topic of conscious creator. We are moving in a potent time of which that we have access to so much universal wisdom because Gaia's frequency is changing. And so with the shift and change, that means we must be really conscious within ourselves, within our energy, and move through life with intention. So what is a conscious creator? A conscious creator understands the laws of the universe. They understand how to work with time. They understand all parts of self. They move with intention. They're really present within their field. And this is also the pathway of manifestation. Manifestation is much more beyond just intention setting, much more beyond than just visualizing and thinking that that is going to come towards you. There is so much more elements of which that must be understood. We must understand the law of three, the three forces in this universe. We must understand how time truly functions. We must understand the law of octaves. When you bring all this information together and you really start to embody and understand these universal laws, that's when you recognize how malleable our reality is, how malleable the world around us is. And once you start to recognize how malleable it is, you see the reflection from self to the world around you. And this is where it is important to reflect on your own pathway and journey to really understand these concepts. When you're trying to learn the three forces, you have to reflect on where you see those three forces in your life, the law of three. When you start to understand how time truly works, then you have to reflect on moments in time in your life to really integrate those lessons. And let's explore the concept of time. Time moves in two ways. It does not move in a linear way where it only just moves forward. Time is always moving forward. But there are moments in time of which that you can speed up the process of an end of a cycle, because we live in a cyclical nature. We are cyclical within self, and nature and universe is cyclical. So that means that we're constantly going around the circle of time. We're constantly moving, and we finish one cycle, but we always begin another cycle. And how fast you can move through a cycle is up to you, and that depends on your action steps. And so this is where moments of opportunity you have the ability to speed up time. To give you an example of this, I'll share with you a story of how my car just broke down and how I recognize on reflection those moments of opportunity that did present, that allowed me to actually cycle through this time of me and my car together, which I lived, and how I could have sped up that journey and even had a more easeful journey. But the thing was, I had an attachment. I of, I love this car. And so when I'm talking about two ways of which time works, where it just continuously moves forward, but there is moments of which that you can manipulate time, where you can speed up time, where you can shift you can shift where you are going on your journey. And this is the idea of that quantum leaping. So this is where we look at chronos time and kairos time, where chronos is where it's just moving forward. Chronos is moving forward. And kairos is like seizing a moment where you have to grab onto this opportunity that is presented to you, which it can take you on a journey that is actually where you end up is beyond your wildest dreams. And you can also speed up the process of a journey that you're on. And so with my car, to give you an example, because it had so many kilometers on it, I recognized that I was nearly reaching the end of the journey with my car. But because I had an attachment to the physicality of I love this thing, I stayed on that journey longer than what I needed to. And I say needed to because I had an opportunity where I could have made that cycle of reaching the end of our time together more easeful than waiting for it to die on me. And so there was moments of recognition that I could sell it before it gets to the end of its life, and that would make my journey much more easeful. But because I had this attachment, instead I missed the opportunity, those moments. And instead I stayed along, slowly moving, and then I was presented with another moment. Of course, you could always change an engine. I didn't have to, reach the end of the journey with the car, but I recognized that this is actually meant to be the end of the journey. And so I moved it on, and I stepped into a new car. And that could have been a more easeful journey if I didn't wait till I had a big problem, but I missed a moment, an opportunity. And this is how you can work with time in different ways. And it's really important to reflect on these things because you can see the subtleties of moments. Moments don't always present to you very loudly. It may get loudly as you go along your journey, but it isn't always loud and obvious in the beginning. And so the idea of stepping into this conscious creator is recognizing and being really present with everything that's coming to you, every moment and even the thoughts, because it can just be as subtle as just a thought of maybe I should do this in order to support my journey. Maybe that would be supportive. That could just be a moment that was very subtly presented to you and you had the opportunity to grab it and move along the cycle of time, the wheel of time, with more ease, or you could just stay on your journey. And this is how you step into the conscious creator, is you start to recognize your patterns, recognizing the subtleties and the messages that you receive, and you begin to really understand how soft and gentle sometimes messages can be that can support you in your journey in life. And this is where you start to learn and understand the enneagram. The enneagram is a combination of the wheel of time, the law of three, and the law of octaves. And bringing this all together is the pathway of manifestation because it's the laws of creation. Everything that is created, illuminates a pathway of how to get to completion. And these three forces is within every creation. So when you begin to understand all these concepts, this is where you step into that role of conscious creator because you can see and you can perceive the journey. You recognize that there's challenges coming. You recognize how much action and energy you must invest into all your creations, big or small. And another element of being able to work with these forces of the universe, these laws, is understanding all parts of who you are. When you understand your mind, when you understand your body's communication, when you understand your soul and your heart, this is where you start to all walk in alignment. Stepping into the role of the conscious creator is also having a feeling of internal peace at times. I say at times because nothing that is an emotion is forever. It just moves through us as though it is waves just washing over us, and we must allow it to cycle. But unless we have experienced a feeling of peace within, there is still an internal battle. And the importance of that peace within is because, peace, the Latin word for peace is pax. And pax means absence of war. It also means peace treaty and tranquility. So what this is illuminating is when you haven't felt internal peace, there is still an internal battle. And so there are still parts of self that are at war with other parts of self because they are not all working together. The mind is not working with the soul. The soul is not working with the mind. The heart is not in harmony because all parts are not in harmony. And in order to be the conscious creator of your life, the one that manifests, the one that has the ability to magnetize anything of which they're calling in, you have to have experienced peace internally, because that's when all parts of self are understood. And if that is something that you haven't experienced, this is a big journey to go on. And I do have bigger healing journeys, which is the Heal Your Womb journey. You can find that, all that information down in my bio, which it is an 8-week journey of really discovering all parts of self so that you can start to integrate them, so you can start to begin to have moments of this internal peace, because that's the only way for the pathway for enlightenment. We cannot walk towards that pathway unless we have moments that we really truly understand all parts. You cannot step into that conscious creator if you do not understand all parts of self. And so this is where it's really important to recognize how beautiful this universe is, and it is here to assist us when we understand it. But this knowledge is being illuminated now because Gaia's frequency is shifting, and so we're having more access to this universal wisdom, and this universal wisdom is trying to be implemented just as this video in itself, you being here, this is just part of that seed of sharing the pathway to creation. For me to be able to understand this knowledge and share this with you is a part of planting that seed within the collective consciousness. So my love, to bring this full circle, is the pathway of a conscious creator is much bigger, and it requires a much in-depth level of understanding of self and the universe around us. And that is where you truly manifest. Manifestation is much more than intention setting, it's much more than just visualizing. Because truly it's not about visualization, it's not about projecting an image of which you're seeing, it's about connecting to the feeling of what you're calling in. And then recognizing the action steps that you need to take to get to completion. Because if we look at the three forces is neutrality, it is passive and active. And in order to go through that whole cycle to complete creation, we must get to completion. And in order to come through all of that, that is a much bigger topic, which we'll go through on another day. But this is just a little bit that I wanted to share, and just to begin the sparks of interest within your mind. And if this is sounding amazing in the sense of these conversations, I have started a new offer, which is called the Connection Circle. The Connection Circle is something where I am have this beautiful creation within my app, the Gaia Bloom app, and it is a community function where we get together every week. So it is Monday at 11 a.m. currently, Brisbane Eastern Standard Time, where we get together live Zoom, and I share all of which that I am learning in this moment in time, or what's being illuminated. I check in with the energy of what needs to come through for all that come with me live, and then we go on a beautiful guided activation. And this is just to help support your energy for that week. And we do this every week. There is also a group chat. So I would love to have you there, because it is a very expansive space. This is very much a supportive journey. It's just to help you in all the changes that's happening in this moment, so you are supported with the energy of this week. And that information, again, is in my bio. If you want to join and be a part of a beautiful growing community that is expansive, if you love all things consciousness, this is your place with me. And I love to finish this with just landing this in the body, landing this information, because it is beautiful that we need to allow our mind to consciously understand all of which that we are creating, learning, and wanting to step into to embody. But now it's time to land this in the body. It's time to ground it, to anchor it, because that is where we truly start to align from that place. It's beautiful to have these open up chakras, but we must land it within our being. So my love, I want you to take a moment and just breathe with me as we just connect to our body, connect to our being. And as you breathe, I want you to feel into every part of your body, your head, softening your forehead. As we welcome in any beings of support that are wanting to come through, your team of light, my team of light, into the space. As they're asking for you to soften your shoulders and just gently move your body. As you continue to breathe, I want you to feel into your heart space. As you feel into your heart space, I want you to feel these words expanding your heart frequency. And you just have to invite these codes to be received into your being. Invite it with consent. Open your heart to receive. As you soften your stomach, soften your womb. As we're going to welcome in this beautiful sky blue light that is entering through the top of our field, through the top of your fields. As it begins to bathe your whole auric field. And we want you to move your spine and just feel as that tension wants to melt away in your lower back, sort of at the back of your sacral chakra. As you just move your back to just create some more freedom, allow those beautiful sky blue light codes from the Atlantis Council to send healing vibration into your body, to release, help you and support you to step into the being of conscious creator. Remember who you are. Remember that you have once lived as this being, that you moved through life with ease, that you knew all parts of you, you embodied it with its purest light, its crystalline form. Remember that you walk through this world breathing as one. Connected to this earth. With your power and your light codes were utilized in that lifetime. Remember. Remember who you are. Awaken to that now. Remember your soul's truth. And so it is from this moment forward. as we activate within your DNA, awakening, a remembering of who you are. Step forward and share your truth. Know your truth. Be your truth. As we send gratitude for the Atlantis Council for coming in and sharing that message and activating those light codes. And thank you for being here, my love. And if this is something that you felt deeply in your being and your heart, and you want to be part of a bigger activation, a bigger collective, then join me. Join me for awakening and stepping into this conscious creator role. And I would love to have you in the connection circle so we can connect live and create a bigger field and a bigger impact in this world. And I thank you. And I send you love.